So I just saw an article in Popular Mechanics about a breed of cat that is over in Finland that is apparently some new genetic variation, and they're touting it as some kind of evolutionary wonder. I want to show you this article real quick because it's amazing to me the lengths that they will go to try and prove their evolutionary theory. But check this out. So the article says this: a new cat color is defying genetic expectations. From roots to tips, this fur tells a tale of evolutionary wonder. And so, of course, it's in Popular Mechanics, an article by Jackie Appel. And if you go down and read through here, it talks about this type of cat that has a fur color that they're calling salmiak, or salty licorice, and it's named after a particular candy over there in Denmark. This is the candy that they named it after. You see it's kind of like a black and white color, hence the salt and pepper color. Well, the cats actually have this color. I'll show you a couple of different variations of this cat. This is one of them, and you can see it has this kind of salt and pepper kind of fur looking on here. And some of you may say, oh, that I've seen cats like that before. Well, not exactly like this. It's the strange coat. It's a shade of black that tapers out to white. The geneticists that have looked at this have been trying to figure out, well, exactly what is going on here. And I want to show you what they came up with because it's actually interesting. It's here in this article, and you're looking at cat colors it's talking about and all the different variations, and they thought this was one particular variation. But when they did a genetic analysis on these cats, basically, well, let me start out by saying this. They say that basically there are only two colors of cats. It's either black or orange, and that every other color scheme that you have is just a variation on that. Faded colors, sometimes those colors will be faded almost completely to white, or actually to white, but it's still those two colors that are present in there. But that's not what's going on with this particular type of cat, this breed of cat. And it says here, it turns out that the answer was in what wasn't there. There was a huge chunk of sequence missing downstream from the KIT gene, whatever KIT gene is. And so basically, these cats are looking like this. I will bring up some of the different variations of the cat. We already saw this one, and that was a neat color combination. Here's another one. This is a salmiak cat. Here's a third one. Just different variations of the same thing. Fourth one, these are two cats that have this particular variation on it, and they're saying how, this shows how cats are evolving, and this change in genetic material that are causing cats to evolve this particular color scheme, and all these different versions of it and variations. If you notice, some of them actually had some color, some of the orange in them, like this one, but it still has the basic variation in it. The problem with this whole thing and saying, oh, this is further evidence for evolution, the problem with it is this isn't adding any genetic material. This is a loss of genetic material. For evolution to be true, you've got to add entire new structures into animals. It would be like a cat developing gills. That would be new information being put into a cat. And we don't see that ever in nature. What we see is a loss of information, and that's what this is. This is an example of lost information. So touting this as evidence for evolution just shows how desperate they are to try and prove their theory. Their theory is actually what is faulty. There is no such thing as evolution. You don't find cats becoming dogs. You don't find reptiles becoming chickens. You don't find that in the fossil record. You don't find that anywhere. All we ever find in terms of observing what we see in the animal kingdom around us is always a loss of information or a distortion of existing information. We never see new information ever added. That's what evolution requires, and that's what it's lacking. I'm sorry, but the missing links are still missing. Anyway, I hope you found that helpful. Talk about it in the comments, and have a great night. Keep studying the Bible.